In standing, notice how you're feeling today. Anything that grabs your attention. Now notice where your eyes are. Are they resting on the horizon or elsewhere? Notice how your back is feeling. Do you feel tension there? How heavy or light do you feel? How is your breathing? Now come to lie on the floor, lying on your back. Notice those same things. Do you feel tension in your back? Do you feel heavy or light? Where are you contacting the floor, and where do you feel your body lifting away? How is your breathing? Now bend both legs and stand your feet on the floor, so your knees towards the ceiling, comfortably, so you're not working too hard to keep them there. Your feet will be slightly apart, slightly away from your torso, but not too far away. In this position, take your hands in front of you and interlace your fingers. Now place your hands behind your head with the interlaced fingers, so your head is resting in your hands and your elbows are pointed towards the ceiling. Now gently lift your head a couple of times, noticing how that is, how easy it is. You don't have to lift it far. Then leave that. Put your head down, bring your hands out, take your fingers apart, and now re-interlace them in your non-habitual manner. What I mean by this is that everyone has a habitual way of interlacing their fingers, with the index finger of one hand being on top of the index finger of the other, and so forth with all the other fingers. One configuration will feel more natural to you. So interlace them the opposite way than you did before, with the opposite index finger on top, and so forth. And just notice, can you sense any difference in your arms and your shoulders? Because something as simple as this can affect a lot in the way we use other muscles. So leaving your hands in this non-habitual interlacing, again place them behind your head and repeat the movement of unweighting your head, lifting it gently towards the ceiling. Your elbows are pointing up. Look towards your belly as you do this. As you lift your head and place it back down, notice any change with the contact with the floor, your back on the ground as you do this movement. Notice if your pelvis is moving, without trying to change anything. What do you sense in your torso, the back of the chest, your lower back, your sacrum, the back of your pelvis? And then leave that, let it all go and take a rest. When you're ready, repeat this movement interlacing your fingers in the non-habitual manner for you, placing the hands behind your head, elbows towards the ceiling, gently lifting the head, looking towards your belly. And notice your breath as you do this. Can you let yourself breathe out as you lift the head? And breathe in as you place it down. Keeping the movement as gentle and easy as possible. This isn't a sit-up. This isn't about exercising as such. It's about gaining more awareness of how you do particular movements. So pause again with your head down for a moment. Have a brief rest. And when you're ready, come back to the movement. Again, noticing your breath, noticing the contact between your back and the floor, how you feel the weight shift as you lift your head and place it back down. And do you sense anything with your feet? You may want to try changing the position of your feet slightly, so that they feel more supportive of this movement. And let it go. Let everything rest. Bring your hands out from behind your head. And just notice your contact with the floor as you're lying there. And what is your sense of your pelvis and how that's resting on the ground? When you're ready, come back to this movement. This time using your normal habitual interlacing. Place them behind your head, lifting the head, elbows towards the ceiling, looking towards your belly as you lift, and placing it back down, letting the breath correlate so you breathe out as you lift and breathe in as you come back down. And notice if, as you're doing this, if your pelvis is rolling, could you let it roll? Could you let it be free? So as your head goes up, noticing a connection with your pelvis. Noticing your abdominal muscles activating while your extensor muscles along the back of you, your back muscles, lengthen and relax somewhat. And just notice as you do this how free and connected the movement feels, the connection between the head and the pelvis. And leave that. Take another brief pause. When you're ready, change the interlacing of your fingers again. Place them behind your head, elbows towards the ceiling, and come back to that movement of gently unweighting your head from the floor, placing it back down, letting your pelvis move with this movement. Can you imagine that it's somewhat like a large watermelon, round, rolling, as you do this movement? And can you synchronize the movement? So your head is moving at the same time as your pelvis is moving. Your head and your pelvis moving towards each other. Are moving together. engaging your abdominals at the same time as you're relaxing your back, letting the movement be even and smooth. And can you go a little bit further and still breathe? See if you can increase the movement a little bit while staying within comfort. Don't force anything. If you feel your breath catching, it means you're exerting too much effort. And keep your feet in your awareness as you do this movement. Sense how they can support it. And feel your lower back changing its contact with the floor as you lift and lower your head. And notice what your ribs, your chest, and your sternum are doing. Is your sternum, that is your breastbone, is that moving and sliding down? Could you let it do this? Sensing in your mind's eye that this is moving as you lift your head and roll your pelvis. Leave that, let it all go. Let your legs go long and rest. Notice now how you're contacting the floor, contact of your back, contact of your pelvis, and your legs and your arms, and any parts which feel heavier on the floor than they did in the beginning. Notice your breath, and when you're ready, slowly roll to one side, come to stand, and again, notice the balance between ease and tension in your standing. Notice where your gaze is on the horizon. Notice how your feet and your legs feel, how they're giving your weight to the ground, and take that for a little walk.